He was a pastor in Savannah. I said, Kenny, I said, I'll be honest with you, bro. There are people here who've been to seminary. I've not been to seminary. I'm like, I gotta come up with something to say 3 times a week. How do you do that? Here's what he said to me, and it blew my mind. And it was. Here's what he said. He said, Myron, I'm gonna tell you something. All you gotta do is stay a week ahead. I'm like, I can stay a week ahead. I can do that. I can study a week in advance and stay ahead by a week. I can do that. It changed my life maybe more than any other experience I've ever had. And I'm telling you, like, let's say if you start doing 1 video a month for the next 10 years, and you focus on getting better, regardless of how it starts out, in 10 years, it's gonna be something that you're not gonna recognize. Would you agree with that?
100%. But my goal is I'm going to cut that learning curve down by 9 years.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. He's like, it's not gonna take you 10 years, bro. Okay, cool. Sign me up. You had me at hello. All right. So, in closing, we got a lot of hopeful people here who would love to have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, 10,000 followers on Instagram, 10,000 friends or whatever, 10,000 followers on Facebook or TikTok or whatever. Like, what would you say to them? They want it to be true. They'd like to believe it, but they don't know how. What would you say to those people?
Well, I think the first thing that I would say is, what is your why? Like, what are you trying to achieve? Like, what is your goal with your business or brand? Or maybe it's a personal reason. Maybe you're working a job and you want to get out of the 9 to 5. Or maybe you have your business, and if you could just get an extra $10,000, $20,000 a month in revenue, it would set you free. Whatever that is, write that down on a piece of paper and remind yourself what you're ultimately trying to achieve and what that will do for your life, for your family, for the personal or business goals that you have. And then once you have it, I also want you to just know that being successful in social media is not about how experienced you are, how much equipment that you have. You can create stuff on iPhones. You don't need to have a social media manager or any of these things. You can start today and be successful. It's just really starting to look at social media and understanding that there is elements to how to craft a story on these platforms. We call them formats. We talked about, with Myron, we talked about the man on the street. We've talked about visual metaphors, 2 characters, 1 light bulb. Start consuming content from an active experience and looking at these formats and identifying the format that you think would work best for your message. And then once you identify that format, really dive in and study what's the difference between using that format to generate millions of views versus tens of thousands of views. So that's really where I would ultimately start. And because I believe in everybody that's watching this, I will give you my book, The Guide to Going Viral, just to Myron's audience. If you go to hookpoint.com/golden, you can download The Guide to Going Viral for absolutely free. So you can get all of our knowledge that I've spent the past 20 years so that you have a clear blueprint to succeed. But the reality is you have to understand what is holding you back. What is holding you back from moving forward, putting in the work and the time? Because we've talked about today that you put in that time and energy, it's going to save you a tremendous amount of heartache trying to build a business and trying to find revenue and customers in the long run. So it's going to free up so much of your time, and you're going to have such a bigger impact on the world if you just take that step and you stay dedicated to it.
I love the fact that, like, in your illustrations, you talked about so many different people, men and women, across so many different niches who are having success with so many different formats. What that tells me is there's hope for everybody.
Because today, if we haven't hit it yet, we're close to hitting 5 billion people on social media. So your audience is on social media, whether you think so. I mean, people often say, well, which platform should I choose? And it's if you choose any of the big ones, your audience is on there. People think like TikTok is only, teenage influencers. Like, it's not. There's over 1 billion people on that platform. Your audience is everywhere. So the reality is anything can go viral on social media because everybody is on social media. So no matter what you're talking about, it can work and can succeed.
So good. Brendan, this has been an absolute masterclass today. I appreciate it